Today we are looking at journalism and we start with a song. Do something new in my life. Something new in my life. Do something new in my life. Today, do something new in my life. Something wonderful in my life. Do something new in my life. Jesus. Journalism has been going through, almost like an existential crisis. But let's go back a bit. It has had a great run. I mean, there's no doubt about it. At the very beginning, even though news value now, timeliness is a huge news value. Nothing as dead as yesterday's news, but that was not always the case. It came out kind of leisurely back in the day. Politics has always been, a huge factor in the success of journalism. Because by reporting on politics, journalism has made a lot of money because people are usually interested in elections, the horse race imagery, who is going to win, who is likely to lose, endorsements and all of that. And then, of course, you then had the mass newspaper come into being when a lot more people could then have access to newspapers. So more like democratizing the journalism space. Then eventually it became big business. You have a lot of huge enterprises, individuals, millionaires investing in journalism and being run as a business and, of course, returning a lot of profit, but no more. Like we mentioned, the existential crisis, I see journalism actually dying in its present state. That is the reality. Already it's hemorrhaging money, we know. A lot of losses, a lot of newspapers have shuttered. There's a lot of soul searching about the best business model. There's been an attempt to do more like a converged newsroom where you have different kinds of properties, newspaper, TV, online, and your print being put together so that one person goes out, gets a story for the three, properties or four properties, and all of that. Citizen journalism has been, incorporated into mainstream journalism. These are some of the ways in which an attempt has been made to keep journalism going. Venture capitalists have been coming into the space, investing, cutting in all kinds of ways to ensure that newspapers can still return a profit. Small newspapers have been affected a lot more because they do not have the financial muscle to keep going. But like I said, the vision that I see is journalism is not going to survive in its present form. I see people, kind of departing into different other kinds of professions. And this brings to mind what the prophet told King Ezekiel in 2 Kings chapter 20, verse 1. When he was mortally ill, the prophet Isaiah, son of Amos, came to him and said, "This is what the Lord says, put your house in order, for you're about to die, you will not recover." Journalism will not recover in the present way in which it is being practiced. But we can look on the bright side. Since I also have a stake, I teach these things. Journalism has always tried to reinvent itself. When radio came, people thought journalism would die, it survived. When TV came, people thought print journalism would die, it survived. Online, it also went online so that you can also read the same stories online. And even now you have, monetizing of content by Substack, by Bulletin from Facebook. So all the attempts to basically try to reinvent itself. And I think this is the way to go. The present setup is not going to survive, from what I can see. And of course, there are parallels in scriptures. Hebrews 8:13, in that it says, a new covenant, he has made the first obsolete. Now, what is becoming obsolete and growing old is ready to vanish away. Hebrews 8:6, now, however, Jesus has received a much more excellent ministry. Just as the covenant, he mediates is better and is founded on better promises. Of course, God put in place, the Mosaic law, but Jesus is the second Adam, and he has a better promises, better covenants, and this is the way that God has made for salvation. No longer the law, no longer any other kind of religion. God has put in place a new covenant, and just like journalism is going to reinvent itself, you need to reinvent yourself by coming on the winning side, by coming on the side of the Lord, so that you can avoid the coming period.